One of the first lyrics of this song is like, hey, try carjacking an old lady at a red light, right? And I was like, a red light? What is this, Times Square?
Comedian and friend of the network, Trae Crowder, is back with another banger, calling out country singer Jason Aldean, seen here in his music video for the song Try That in a Small Town, standing in front of the Maury Courthouse in Tennessee and hanging an American flag, where the lynch body of Henry Choate hung nearly 100 years ago in the same spot. It's also worth noting that Maury Courthouse, where a mob of white people gathered before joining law enforcement and looting the black business district in town in 1946, an ugly piece of history now known as the Columbia Race Riot. Officers mass arrested over 100 black community members. No victims were provided bail or legal counsel. They also confiscated hundreds of firearms and ransacked homes and businesses, all without warrants. Keep this in mind as Crowder continues his takedown of Aldean.
I was like, Jason Aldean don't know what he's singing about, right? He's from Macon, Georgia. Have y'all heard of Macon, Georgia? Yeah, that means it's not a small town. I looked it up. They got a Target. It might as well be Paris, dude. Is about they're getting fired up about things that are never gonna happen. Like they're worried about like big city Antifa coming there. They ain't coming here.
Brilliant point here from the comedian. Aldean displaying imagery of the George Floyd protests, burning American flags, and militarized police reinforces the racialized stereotypes many rural people have been told about cities and the boogeyman Antifa has turned into over the past 5 years or so.
Proud Boys, stand back and stand by. But I'll tell you what. Somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left, because this is not a right-wing problem. This is a left-wing. This is a left-wing problem.
White supremacists. Antifa's an idea, not an organization.
Oh, you got to be
not
kidding.
militia. That's what his FBI, FBI director said.
Well, Antifa is a dangerous, radical
gentlemen,
group.
we're now moving on to the Trump and Biden records.
They'll overthrow you.
Like, imagine Antifa having a meeting and they're like, yeah, we know all the media's eyes are on Portland and LA and the big cities and everything, but where we can really make the most impact with our message is Bucksnort, Tennessee. It pisses me off too, because there's plenty of things that are being done to small towns that they could be mad about, that they could be singing about, you know what I mean? Like singing about shipping all the jobs away, shutting the hospital down, making you a staging ground for heroin and pill farm. But you know, the villain of those songs wouldn't be Black Lives Matter protesters, it'd be rich white people and politicians, so.
Crowder's spot on once more. The real power's to blame for the endless cycles of poverty, crumbling infrastructure, scarcity of quality healthcare and nutritious foods, and the sorry state of the public education system are always the politicians and the ultra-wealthy donors backing them and putting them in these positions of power to guide policy. Poverty, hunger, deprivation of education, etc. are all policy decisions that can be solved by policy and legislation. But the powerful will never fix these issues. They'll do literally anything to hold on to power for dear life, just like the Chuck Grassley's and Dianne Feinstein's. To them, politics is a career and a way to establish their family dynasties for years to come, not a service to the people who elected them into whatever position they hold, which brings us to this.
I wonder about this all the time, because me and Mark are both from like the rural South.
Yeah.
And so like I grew up with all these people that like, I know if you like quiz them on what their actual beliefs were, you'd be horrified by a lot of it. You know what I mean? But like just dealing with them on a day-to-day basis or whatever, they seem fine. They seem nice and normal. You know what I mean? It's like I had great relationships with some of these people and they're full bore lunatics. Like what kind of work environment is that? How is that for you?
Yeah. So as I say, nice is never the problem, right?
Right.
You guys are all nice, but then they're like voting to give your daughter a government mandated pregnancy or preventing your neighbor from getting the fertility treatment that she wants and calling her a serial killer for wanting, to not use all the embryos and have, 10 kids.
Trae and co-host Mark Agee interviewed California Dem Eric Swalwell about what it's like to be forced to work with some of the most unhinged people in this country who found themselves in positions of power.
It's a pro wrestling culture. That's what's so bad. These guys, like if they see me out at dinner or on a plane or, even like, in the restroom, they're like, "Hey, Swalwell, bro, saw you on TV. You were great." And you're like, "What? Like, are you kidding me?" And I just come to realize they just see themselves as like entertainers, and like it's okay to hit me over the head with a steel chair in the ring because that's what they think the fans want, who I call constituents. But when we're off camera, we're cool because we all get that it's just entertainment. And that is most frustrating. I respect Marjorie Taylor Greene a hell of a lot more than Ted Cruz because she believes her crazy. And Ted Cruz knows it's all bullshit, and he sees himself, as an entertainer. And then that's kind of the problem.
That's how it's always seemed, so thank you for confirming it.
Swalwell's personal politics aside, comparing Congress to the WWE is a fantastic analogy for how these crooks toy with the lives of us, the voters. As long as they put on a good show for the cameras, they're perfectly happy to kick back and cash the sweet check from their donors. Be sure to sub to Trae Crowder on his YouTube channel and check out all of his content, including the Weekly Skews podcast. And please support Trae by going to one of his shows if he's in a town near you. The best way to get the message out and push for change is supporting fellow progressives like this.